Top 10 animes that will change your life completely. The line between fiction and reality is blurrier today than ever before, as we spend a lot of time of our lives immersed in books, movies, and TV series. These fictional experiences often shape the way we think and affect our lives significantly. This just goes to show that anything, no matter how small, can impact or change your life, be it a book, a movie, or even anime. If their impact is significant enough to change your views, that story will stay with you forever. While few anime will actually have a noticeable impact on its viewers, the ones that do are unforgettable masterpieces. So with that said, let's take a look at 10 anime that have the power to change your life forever. While most otaku don't spend their evenings battling alien invaders using futuristic mecha weapons, that doesn't mean anime fans can't learn anything from watching their favorite shows. Many series, even ones that focus on violent conflict, contain inspirational messages of personal growth and triumph over adversity. Number 1. Akira. When Katsushiro Otomo's anime masterpiece came out in 1988, it changed a lot of people's lives, mainly because until they saw Akira, they had no idea that animation could be used for anything other than children's entertainment. More than 25 years later, this tale of teens in Neo-Tokyo who run afoul of a militarized government and a secret experiment to unlock telekinetic abilities may have lost its shock but not its power. Although purely Japanese, Akira's tale of how modern society disenfranchises and co-opts youth into its faults and machinations is universal. Number 2. Nausicaä of the Valley of Wind. As a child, Hayao Miyazaki wanted to be a manga artist, but after he became the most acclaimed director in anime, he only chose to adapt one of his works into manga, that being Nausicaä of the Valley of Wind. The post-apocalyptic fantasy is set in a world so ravaged by war that nature itself has risen up and created giant bugs called umu to begin the slow process of purifying the planet, while the remnants of humanity begin another slow, maddening descent into war. Nausicaä isn't so much a love letter to nature as it is Miyazaki's apology for man's foolishness, destructiveness, and blindness, although it's one that still has enough optimism to hope that we can see the error of our ways before it's too late. Number 3. Ghost in the Shell. When Masamune Shirow began putting out his cyber police adventure Ghost in the Shell in 1989, it was hardly considered a masterpiece, but now Ghost in the Shell has become one of anime's most popular franchises, and that's thanks to Masamune Shirow's dark, one might say dour, trippy, brilliant 1995 movie adaptation. When Shirow's manga was content to examine how technology and the internet would change crime, Oshii used cyborg protagonist Motoko Kusanagi to examine the meaning of life and consciousness in a world where the virtual was as legitimate as reality. Ghost in the Shell has inspired countless imitators, especially in anime, but none of them have had the effect or the staying power of the original movie. Number 4. Macross Robotech. Whether you're a fan of the original Japanese anime Super Dimensional Fortress Macross or Robotech, the Americanized adaptation cobbled together from it and 2 other anime series, the fact is, the Macross saga remains one of the greatest love stories of the 20th century. Only Macross is willing to show love in all its forms, the way it brings joy, the way it brings pain, the way it brings sadness, and the way it brings insanity. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Love is what makes the commander of the most powerful spaceship in the galaxy, Lisa Hayes, wash the underwear of a lowly Veritalk pilot, Rick Hunter, while he's chasing about an underage Chinese pop star named Minmay, who toys with Rick mercilessly while she pines for her cousin Lin Kyle, who throws gin bottles at her. That's love, people. That's love. And Robotech helped an entire generation understand love's messiness, even if we were all still powerless before it. Number 5. Serial Experiments Lain. More experimental and surreal than most of the anime on this list, Lain seems to trod where Ghost in the Shell does, about the relationship between consciousness and technology in a world where a virtual network called The Wired connects humanity. But Lain isn't as interested in technology as much as how communication and perception create Lain's identity, whether it's how she perceives herself or how others perceive her. There are multiple lines in The Wired, all different aspects of her own personality, and not all working for her. But Lain's sense of self is also informed by what and how she presents herself to others, and how she communicates with them. Eventually, Lain recognizes her powers to control reality in The Wired, and essentially erases all memories of herself. Lain is troubled, yes, but the show's exploration of self, loneliness, and perception is only more powerful for it. Now, before we continue with the top 10 animes that will change your life completely, subscribe to our channel, Curious Atmosphere, so that you don't miss out on any future updates. Number 6. Perfect Blue. Most of Satoshi Kon's works examine the nature of reality and fantasy, and the thin line separating the two. But the director's first film, Perfect Blue, does so in a manner more subtle than his other films, creating an unusual masterpiece that honestly could easily have been filmed in live action. 1997's Perfect Blue is about a pop star named Mima who decides to become an actress, but a series of murders where she appears to be the prime suspect, murders that echo the movie she's starring in, loosen her hold on reality. It's the Hitchcock film Alfred Hitchcock never made, as Mima tries to discern what is life, what is the movie, and what she has or has not done. The movie is actually more powerful for refusing to utilize animation's possibilities and keeping it realistic. The more seems both more and less surreal for it, enhancing the themes, and it's a massively entertaining thriller to boot. Number 7. Psycho-Pass. Psycho-Pass takes place in the 22nd century in Japan, where a technologically advanced system called Sibyl is used to determine threats towards the country. It does so by examining each citizen's mental state for signs of criminal intent and allowing inspectors to subjugate any that harbor ill will. As Akane Tsunemori, a young and honest woman, enters the work field alongside veteran enforcer Shinya Kugami, the Sibyl system's judgments are finally questioned. Psycho-Pass does in 2 seasons what has never been done before, at least not in such a unique way. Akane's struggle with figuring out the true nature of justice and questioning its enforcement through the use of a system that may already be corrupt draws many parallels with reality. Number 8. Berserk. Berserk is a legendary anime that is set in a medieval world of strife. The story follows Guts, a young mercenary who embraces the battlefield as his only means of survival. He puts his life on the line just to make enough to get by as he moves from one bloodshed to the next. After a run-in with the Band of the Hawk, a formidable troop of mercenaries, he is recruited by their charismatic leader Griffith. Guts quickly climbs the ranks, becomes the head of the offensive faction, and takes Midland by storm. However, he slowly realizes that the world is not as black and white as he once assumed during this time. This gritty tale follows one man's struggle to find his own path while supporting another's lust for power and the unimaginable tragedy that unravels. The anime brims with violent battles and head-to-head confrontations, resulting in a lot of gore and action. The world of Guts is full of evil and brutality, and definitely not for the faint of heart. Number 9. I Want to Eat Your Pancreas. I Want to Eat Your Pancreas is an anime that highlights the cruelty and unpredictability of life. Sakura Yamauchi is determined to live her life to the fullest until the day she finally passes away, and now she has finally found one more person to share her secret. With the aloof boy who does not show any sympathy for her plight as a company, this pair of opposites affect each other in a way never seen before. I Want to Eat Your Pancreas is a beautiful love story about an antisocial boy who falls in love with his jovial classmate. The tragedy lies in the fact that the girl has pancreatic cancer and does not have long to live. The juxtaposition between a girl who is dying but living her best life and a boy who has long to live but seems dead inside is jarring. Number 10. The Tatami Galaxy. The story follows an unnamed third-year university student in Kyoto, Japan, and his many lives and misfortunes. Each episode starts with him pursuing something inane as his friend Ozu manages to screw everything up. Along the protagonist's trip across the Tatami Galaxy, the viewers are introduced to many different people, and in each life a different story unfolds. While each story is unrelated to the other at first glance, there is a pattern revealed by the end. The Tatami Galaxy sets the stage with brilliant characters and visuals and brings hilarious moments with meaningful messages. In just 11 episodes, the anime manages to make us laugh and think with its incredibly unique storytelling. Based on what we think is worthy, subscribe to our channel, Curious Atmosphere, so that you don't miss out on any future updates. If you have more about it, please feel free to share them with us. Share them in the comments below and wait for our interesting topics coming soon. If you think they deserve to be on this list, share your opinion in the comments below.